Dax has been treated for 7 muscle pulls, 2 contusions, and 3 cracked ribs just this month. Lita tells Quark to get his own damn hand-squeezed snail juice. And Worf and Dax have much to discuss. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 7th Rule with Cirroc Lofton.
Hello, hello.
We're joined by a very special guest today, Chase Masterson. You know her, you love her.
Yeah.
Lita.
Hey, guys. So great.
The amazing, the wonderful.
You're very kind. Great to be back. Hi.
Awesome. My name's Ryan T. Husk, by the way. Today we're doing a review of Deep Space Nine, Season 5, Episode 7, Let He Who Is Without Sin, written by Robert Hewitt Wolfe, and Ira Stephen Bear, directed by René Auberjonois. I hadn't noticed that until I looked it up just now. This was November 11th, 1996. How you guys doing?
Wow.
Doing well.
On another lifetime.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Real quick, do you have any memories of René as a director, working with him as a director?
I do. There was one thing that René was doing with my character and with Worf, which I found really interesting. He wanted Lita to be super light in this episode, and I was trying to have her be a little more grounded, but because Worf was such a heavy, he said he wanted me to be light and get more on his nerves, I guess. And that kind of went against what I wanted to do, but that's what he kept coaching me to do, like over and over a few times. And I didn't want to, disappoint and hold up production, so I did it. And that grated on my nerves a little bit, but I have to say, overall, I've heard what fans say. I love this episode. I had a blast with it. I think Vanessa Williams was incredible. Sorry if I just jumped the gun on that, but I think it was really lovely in so many ways.
Yeah, Cirroc. We'll get a little bit more into all this a little bit later, but when you guys mentioned, Chase, how René wanted it to be lighter, or you specifically, I also noticed before I realized that he directed that Odo played himself more lightly.
I hadn't thought of that.
I wonder if he as an actor was trying to match the tone of the episode, because remember when he was talking with Sisko, just in I think possibly their only scene, and
I don't remember Odo in the episode, so you got to refresh my memory.
At the beginning of the episode, he was talking with Sisko, and Dax comes in, and that's when they say, "Oh, you got all these broken ribs and all this or that," and they're like, "You should see Worf." But Dax says Worf is upset because I had lunch with Captain Baudet, who's got the transparent skull. And Odo says the Galamite. Oh, and then before that was when he acted silly when he said something about what the situation was with with Risa.
Yeah, with Risa.
Oh no, it was when he said that they talked so much when he said that Sean means swamp in Bajoran. And Sisko says somebody should tell him, and Odo says, "I nominate you." Anyway, that was a long explanation. Before we get into too much of this stuff, Cirroc, you've got something to show us, right?
Oh well, yes. Obviously, I want to give a shout out to Be Kind, Chase Masterson.
Thank you.
We love what you do.
Kind.
And also a special shout out to Homer Presell for putting it all together for us, and you too, Ryan, making the magic happen.
Homer Presell, you're wonderful.
We love Homer. He's amazing.
Speak for yourself.
All right, well, I'll speak for myself.
We love him.
He's a man's man. We love this guy. But Chase, also wanted to say, I want to make sure that I give you the proper credit and thank you on camera and on air, because you were so generous to call me up and reach out to me about this project that you were working on with Matt Campbell, Matt Berman, and I mean, it was just really amazing for you to think about me, and also for me to be a part of such a really good project, this Wedding Pact 2 film. It was a real pleasure to work on. I love the crew, love the cast, and just a little bit hats off to you. And maybe you can give us a little explanation how you got involved with it.
Well, that is so sweet. And Cirroc, I hear you are amazing in this movie. I wish I'd been able to be there on the day. But Matt says you're
Thank
incredible.
you.
And really, it was Matt Berman that I was doing the favor for, because he wanted you, loves your work, and you are such a fantastic actor. And I
Thank you.
just, I know how life goes up and down, and especially for people who got their start as a kid. But you're really, really talented, so good, and you've got such a great look, clearly, and you should be working. And I hope this is the start of a whole bunch of new cool things for you.
Well, I just want people to know that not only do you say that, but you actually put your money where your mouth is,
Yep.
and gave me the call, reach out to me, gave me the opportunity to work on this project. Such a great atmosphere to be a part of. And I thank you for the opportunity. I thank you for not only those thoughts, but the action that came behind it.
Thank you.
And yeah, Trace, it was just really fun to be on the set. And, this is actually coming out of COVID. So,
Mhm.
productions are back up running, and people
Yeah,
are able to interact more. And um, I think all of us were grateful to be getting back in the mix and be on camera, especially me, who has taken a big hiatus. But yeah, I want to say that, seeing Connor, I don't want to give too much away about who's
Ooh,
in the movie or what's going on, but I did get a chance to run into Connor on the set, and I didn't get a chance to see you. But the fact that there are people that I know and have real fond feelings for also in the production just makes it that much more special.
that's so great to hear. And it's always great when Star Trek family gets together and gets to work together again. And I'm just excited to see you work again. But tell us. I know some, but tell us more about your role.
Well, interestingly enough, they said I'm playing this kind of a real estate developer character, and we've had our share of real estate developers in the last few years. So
Yeah.
I got a little insight on what that's like. Um, but they asked me, one of the things was you have to be ready with a suit, and those of us that know about the California lifestyle, not too many of us get to dress
Right.
up with suits every day. It's kind of
Right.
I'm a t-shirt, I'm Abyssinian kiosk, or
nice.
type of guy, or a be kind type of guy. So I like to relax with my t-shirts and jeans or shorts, and so I don't have too many suits in my wardrobe. So that was the biggest challenge for me, actually, was getting the wardrobe right that I
Mm.
wanted for the look.
Yeah.
But as far as the script was concerned, as far as working with Matt, I mean, he's so good at explaining. He's so good at just making you feel comfortable. There was no a point in time where I felt like out of place or I felt like I was unwelcome. It was just like, hey, open arms, big. As a matter of fact, he gave me a hug the first time I saw him. It was just big hug. Forget COVID, forget all that. Come here, buddy. And I felt really loved and a warm welcome. So thank you, Chase, for being a part of that and helping make that happen. Um, and I think that this movie, Wedding Pack 2, is going to be something exciting for people to look at. The first one did very well. Obviously, they're making a sequel, but
Yeah.
um, just a little segue there.
Yeah. It did very well. I anticipate really good things for this, and you're going to be wonderful by all accounts. So, yay. Yay.
Wow. I
Yay,
can't wait.
yay,
I want to
yay.
see Cirroc as a real estate developer. This is going to
I
be great.
know.
I'm really excited
Yeah,
to see this.
It's a
Usually
good
the
moment
only
to
yeah.
look for you. You could do so much more of this stuff. I think it's
Mhm.
your time, Cirroc. I really do.
I think there's a lot of opportunity going forward. I'm just going to be humble and keep trying to do my best.
Yeah.
um, and just take whatever opportunities come in front of me that I feel like are respectable. And this is definitely one of those.
Yeah.
But back to this episode, Chase, you are, I mean, just so wonderful in this. I know you said that Renee asked you to be light, but I really like the way that the character portrays a confident woman.
Mm.
There's the, I think that's something that really stood out to me. I wrote down, for example, the scene where you're getting a massage, um, and you're
Yeah.
going through that. And I said, well, that's really creative because that's something they would mostly put on the male characters or trying to get their massage on or and whatnot.
True.
But I like that they that you were the person that was confident enough to, I'm going to get my thing. I'm getting my relaxation on. I don't care what's going on.
That
And
is
I thought that was progressive.
that
Yeah.
is progressive. I had never actually thought of that. I just, as a woman who gets massages occasionally, but you're right. Like standardly, typically in television, it's the guy who's laying there and the woman who's doing the work.
Yeah.
And that's interesting. I personally thank you so much for your kind words. I loved this episode for this reason for Lita. I mean, I loved it overall for many reasons, but what I loved for Lita about this was that obviously I broke up with the cute British doctor to get with, because I loved, really unrequitedly at that point, because I loved the guy who was only pretty on the inside. And it was such a Star Trek message to really see people for who they are and to not just go by face value and to judge by externals. And there was nothing wrong with Lita and Julian. I often say, Lita and Julian were like the Barbie and Ken of Star Trek, right? Lita and Ron were like the Lucy and Ricky, right? and so
like
there was
that.
a lot more fun and a lot more storyline, I think, that opened up with Lita and Rom dating, but this didn't happen yet because, this was unrequited love on Lita's part. So I thought it was a bold move on her part, to go from a sure thing that would look good to anybody else, but where I wasn't really happy, where I was kind of, I don't know, settling, to go for the guy that I really loved and that really turned me on. And I love that.
It was also very honest of your character. Not that you're just going from one person to the next, but that you're saying, look, I have feelings for somebody else, which means I can't in good conscience stay with you.
Yes.
I feel like there was a lot of integrity in a move like that. And that, that's it's just, it shows a lot about Lita. And maybe you played the character light, or the character was written light, but as Cirroc says, there's confidence in that. Jadzia does the same thing. She's light, but confident. It's not light because there's nothing going on in the head. It's light because she chooses to be a happy person. What do they say? The simplicity in nature is the direct result of profound thought, right? And so if you know who you are and you think deeply and you are very comfortable with all that stuff, usually are very simple in nature. You keep things simple, you keep things light. So I thought that was great.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, and I thought that Bashir in this episode kind of did like a typical guy thing where he's like, yeah, I get to hook up with girls on my breakup.
On the other side of the spectrum, yeah.
Yeah, he was completely on the other side of the spectrum. He had no real thought into the relationship. Like, you were over here pondering about weighing, breaking his heart with somebody that you actually have a real connection with. You were holding back feelings for Rom because you were in this relationship, and you're like, now I can finally speak freely. So there's like, you have this whole like calculated understanding of relationships and where you stand and what you want to accomplish. And it seems like Bashir is like so aloof. Like, yeah, I guess we're breaking up.
I'm out of here.
This is cool. Yeah,
we're good.
Well, probably because she told him what breaking up entails, and he's like, well, hang on a second. I'm listening. All right, maybe we should break up.
Yeah, exactly. And hey, Risa's got a lot of hot babes, and it was interesting that what Iris said about this was a very parallel thing. He said, and he actually had mentioned this to Max, and that's how I know this story. He said he took Max on a long walk, and he said, "So, son, we're going to give you Lita." And he said, "You are?" What? And and Iris said, "Yeah, because we want to keep Bashir single, because a lot of people, are attracted to Bashir." And Rom is like, "Oh, thank you."
That sounds exactly like Rom.
It was a very TV move, but it was also a very Star Trek move, I think, and I appreciated all of the cool things that it made happen.
Yeah, I think that the character works better. Your character gets more shine
Totally.
in a Rom relationship,
Yeah.
and I love the dynamic between you because the conversations are spicier. The back and forth is juicier, I believe, than what you and Bashir had going for you. You know, it was kind of it was more like a fling, essentially, because it was like, you know, hooking up. We're two attractive people. You know,
Right. It
let's hook
seems
up.
like it's the third level in your character's growth. Like the initial level is she's a Dabo girl. Then the
Yeah.
next level is she's one of the lead's girlfriends. You know, she's
Oh,
one of Bashir's girlfriends or something,
right.
you know, but then now this next level is you're pretty much on, you know, on an even level with Rom. The two of you are now like a new kind of power couple. Not you're one of the character's girlfriends. The two of you are your own story, and that's definitely, I think, a third level to the growth of your character.
Thank you, Ryan. It was wonderful playing Laura Petrie to Max Grodenchik's Rob. Rob. Oh,
Yeah.
Rob. It
But
was
I don't necessarily. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Chase, but I just have to disagree a little bit with Ryan. I just
Oh,
don't
good.
necessarily think that. I don't think this is the episode that propels her up to another level. I believe that the episode that we watched where they were starting the bar association,
Right. That's a great one. Yeah.
where Lita stands up, she shows that she's attracted to Rom's confidence and his willingness to defy his brother. I think that showed me the biggest growth in her character. That she was like, "Oh, who is this person? She's like got her own mind. She's sassy. She's smart. She's beautiful." And that's when I really noticed there wasn't. I never really put her on like, "Oh, that's Bashir's girlfriend." I always that moment is when I saw her as, "Oh, that's an independent woman who we have to keep an eye on, who's on the station." To me, that's the big jump.
Mhm.
Thank you. That means a lot. That's really cool. And actually, I was gonna say something very much to that effect. I think the growth of Lita did start with Bar Association, with standing up for justice and for what was right and risking my job, walking out, basically, all of that. That is such a very important message, you know, for treating people, workers well. And I think that was definitely a growth in Lita's character, showing strength and compassion and conviction. And yes, I was attracted to Rom back then. That's when they started
That's where it
putting us
started. Yeah.
together.
Mhm.
Yeah, but yeah, Lita was more than a girlfriend. I'm very happy about that. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, because the image of the Dabo girl is somebody who's just a pretty but doesn't have a brain, somebody who doesn't have something else to offer. And I think she transcends that when she shows us that she has principles and morals and character, and that is what she's attracted to. Then when you see that, it's like, oh, she's not attracted to just somebody who's pretty or somebody who's got a lot of money at double wheel, but she's actually attracted to somebody who's somebody who stands up for themselves, somebody who's not afraid to take chances and risks, somebody who's going to stand up for others. And so I believe that's where I think she started to define herself as somebody who separates from just a Dapo girl. This is a woman that's strong and needs to be paid attention to.
Thank you. So well said. And it's so much better coming from you. Thank you.
It's what I saw.
Thank
Reiterating
you.
what I saw. That's what I believe to be the truth.
That's really nice. Thank you. That's certainly what we were going for. And I was grateful to have those storylines. You know, Ira and Ron and Renee Echevarria, who created Lita, they're
Hmm.
so good at writing women. And they, you know, I think so many of the Star Trek writers are. And what a
Mhm.
great show to be on, to have been on, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you had so many things that were so much deeper and richer, you know, with you and Avery, and just so much. Even, you know, and even the fun with with Aaron, with Nog, you
Yeah.
know, it was all imbued with meaning, so much richer than they usually write for kids. And
Yeah.
what an honor of a show to be on, and you filled those
What an honor.
shoes so beautifully. And I think that's part of why fans love you so much and feel like a kind of a possession of like a real connection with Jake.
Yeah. I have a question. Where was this episode filmed? Because I saw some beach in the background. I saw water in the background.
Yeah, I definitely I was definitely wondering about that too.
It was shot in Malibu, northern Malibu. Right. And, I don't have to tell you, Cirroc, my gosh, how great it was to get out of the studio.
Yeah.
That's what everyone was talking about, and to be by the beach, and they dressed it even more with this, hyacinth and hydrangeas or whatever those, just really a beautiful paradise that they created.
Yes.
Which was so lovely. But
that's one of the things I used to be envious of, is when I watch certain shows and I see that they're on location all the time. Yeah. And I'm like, God, I wish I was on a show that could film on location and be on the streets in New York and be here and be there. Because that was the one thing about DS9. We spent a lot of time on sound stages. And if you weren't at a sound stage, you were at the ADR. So just mostly indoor and enclosed. And you didn't get as many location shoots. So I'm sure that the cast and the crew were happy to be out by the beach, and they could throw a football during lunch break.
Yeah. No, it was fun. It was really fun, and we missed you in that episode. Why did they not have you go to Risa? Were you?
Yes, Cirroc.
Yeah, I'm not old enough for Risa. Clearly,
you were 18.
Getting off the shuttlecraft. Yeah.
Dad was not letting me go. No, my dad would said no to Risa. Not yet. You're not old enough. You got to go graduate first.
Makes sense.
I do have some interesting stories about Vanessa Williams that I can get into on the second half of the other side of this. I would like to get a little bit into those little private stories that
definitely. I have. And we do have a couple minutes left in this segment. So let's finish up on the location, because it really, and I believe that's, it really gave us this impression of, a different place. The outfits were very 90s. The outfits and the haircuts were hysterically 90s, but not on you guys, but like the extras that they had. There was one surfer dude with blonde hair who had the mushroom haircut. It was good stuff. It was good memories.
Yeah.
But when you were there, was there like a certain vibe or a certain buzz? Were you just kind of a little bit more relaxed? Or was the AD yelling at everybody, "Stop being so relaxed. We still gotta make our day"?
It's always like that. It's always making our day. But there was certainly an aura of fun there. I do have one other really super fun story I can tell after the break if you'd like, and it'll be quick. But I remember one thing. I was called at 1:20 in the morning.
What?
Yes. Because they wanted to get all the daylight they could, and 3 hours to do makeup, I guess, which was what it was, and get onto set. I think they were using dawn light, so that was, that's showbiz. Go to bed at 4 p.m. But anyway, I can't wait to tell you this other quick story later after the break.
How are you able to act perky after waking up at 1:20 a.m.?
It's your job and it's your honor, right?
Wow.
It's your honor. How about
you get up for these things because, especially when you know that you're a focal point of the episode, and all of us wait for that opportunity. The first thing you do when you get a script is to see how much you're in it, or if you're in it at all.
I know.
Right? And if it's just one line, one scene, not that you don't appreciate that, because we all appreciate the opportunity to work in this business.
Yeah.
But you're like, okay, well, that's one day. I could probably half a day, and I'll go in and I'll be done. But when you know that you're a focal point, and you get those so rare because there's so many people to focus on.
Yeah.
You're up for it, Ryan. You're excited about it. This is what we live for. This is what we train for. This is what we do.
I bet.
Waited for it. You were little tiny kid.
I bet everybody watching this right now is saying, "I would get up at 1 in the freaking morning to go do this." Everybody's down for it.
We're not carrying bricks on our head in the Congo. These were good jobs.
These are good jobs. These are exciting. and you're doing what you've always wanted to do, and you're part of this, television history when you're making this kind of work.
Right.
So it's like you get up for it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, and you stay up for it. So you'll be up until midnight and keep it going.
Yeah.
Cherishing every minute, really.
Yeah.
And that, that's one thing I've said about Deep Space Nine, and I'll say it again, just briefly. We knew what we had when we had it. And that's such an important thing to be able to do in life, is to take those moments and really appreciate them while they're happening. We knew what we had was really special, that we were telling stories that were transcendent, that mattered, that were fun, that people were waiting on pins and needles for, and that we would get to meet those people. And right, Cirroc, we cherished every moment of it.
We cherished every moment of it. And, you don't get the reaction in real time like if you're doing a play. You don't get that, clapping audience, you don't get the standing ovation. But what you do get is looking your co-workers in the eye, and that they're giving just as much as you are. They're getting up too to be there. They're showing up to, they're sacrificing their life or their time or their abilities being contributed to the same kind of outcome. So when you see and you look across the room and you see everybody in the trenches with you, it's even more of a motivating factor.
Yeah, such a great hardworking team that we had too.
Yeah.
BJ, the AD, and Lou, and everybody.
And everybody, the makeup, and Camille, and the hair. It's just everybody really committing to making it work. So. But yeah, let's get to the break, Ryan. I know you want to cut to the break, and we'll get to some of these other stories. I want to hear Chase's story, and I've got my Vanessa Williams story.
Yeah, that's really important, though, that you were aware of what you had when you had it. That's something that most people, that's always the advice that they give. Cherish what you have, enjoy your youth, enjoy what you have. So that's amazing that you guys had the wisdom and the wherewithal to appreciate it while you had it. That's awesome.
So even now, every day, I mean, what we have will, some people, many people, most people don't.
Right.
So cherish day. That's something we can all do. Right.
Mm-hmm. And very quickly, everybody at home, Cirroc mentioned Abyssinian Kiosk, and he showed off the Be Kind merchandise. So please check in the description box below to click on those links. Buy some goodies from Cirroc's sister at Abyssinian Kiosk, and from Chase's awesome website as well with the Be Kind merch. We're going to come right back on the other side on the 7th rule.